Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Jones here, and I hope you enjoyed reading The Mixed Up Chameleon by Eric Carle, one of my favorite authors and artists. Today, I want to show you how to make a mixed up animal. And our goals are I can create an imaginary animal using line, shape, color, and texture. The materials you'll need are very simple. You'll only need a paper, pencil, crayons, or markers, or anything you'd like to draw with. The first thing I want to show you is the way I might draw a mixed up chameleon. And remember, yours does not need to be a mixed up one. It can be a real chameleon, or it could be a chameleon with wings, or a chameleon with flippers for his feet, or a chameleon with a bird head, whichever you would like. I'm going to start out with his eyes because chameleons have eyes that rotate all around. They can go up and down and sideways. They see everywhere. And here's the pupil of my mixed up chameleon's eyes. There he is. Next, I'm going to draw a nostril, and I'm going to draw around his nostril his curvy line for his head. And I'm going to come back around here. This is a pretty happy chameleon because maybe he's decided he doesn't want to be mixed up anymore. Or maybe he likes to have wings. Who knows? I'm going to come down for his neck. Just a simple curvy line. And let's see. How about my chameleon having a ruffled neck? Because that would look pretty cool. They normally have scales because, yes, they're reptiles, but this is a mixed up chameleon. He can be anything you want or any animal that you would like. I'm going to come around here for his legs. Now remember, some of the animals the chameleon liked had flippers. And some of them had wings. So your chameleon could have whatever you want. Now on his back, I'm going to draw a line for his back. I kind of ran out of room for his tail, but that's okay. I'll just run off the paper because right here I'm going to make a wing because I think it would be fun for him to have wings and flippers, because that way he can go anywhere he'd like on land, on water. Oops, running off that paper again, no big deal. And you see I didn't do a bump and jump here. That's okay, no big deal. That's what erasers are for. Just erase it, no big deal. I'm coloring over it anyway. So now my chameleon has a rotating eye, a mouth, frill on his neck, a flipper, and a set of wings. Let's make this little guy have another flipper on his opposite side. And here we go, his tummy. There's his other flipper. Now, my chameleon might be flying around close to the water. He might be getting ready to dive into a pool or a pond or a nice lake. I'm not sure what yet. Let's see. I think I can add something else to him. How about some more frill on his neck and his back? A cone like a bird. There's a cone. And last but not least, we want to color him. Now I've chosen some nice cool colors. You can choose whatever you want to for yours. And yours doesn't have to look like mine. Mine didn't have room for his tail, and that's no big deal. So here's where I've been testing my colors here on the sheet underneath my chameleon, and I've picked out a few that I like a lot. So I'm just going to use some greens, maybe a dark green, and I'm going to go right over his head, and I'm going to outline right over the pencil line. You can do this with crayons, markers, like I said, whatever you want. Yours doesn't even need to have a head of a chameleon, or if you want to, he surely can. I'm just making simple zigzag lines going down his head. There's his eye socket and his eyeball. I think I'll make his nostril a little bit larger. And maybe I'll change colors for the rest of his body. Ooh, here's a different green. Remember before I told you, a very special friend, a student at our school, actually gave me these crayons a couple of months ago, and I haven't had a chance to use them yet. It was so kind. But now I'm getting to. There we go. There's the back. And maybe I'll make the wings a blue-green. So let me go here and here, and holding my paper again while I color and trace because I don't want it to slip. And I got out of the lines, no big deal. I can always go back over and color it later. Oops. Now, I think he would look really cool with some scales. So how about, I could make some zigzag scales because he's part reptile, he's part bird, and the feet, well, I guess they would belong to a bird. But these nice zigzag lines add texture to his body. And remember, yours does not need to look like mine. I'm just doing this because I love the story by Eric Carle of the Mixed Up Chameleon. Now, Eric Carle did his using pieces of painted paper that were cut, and he glued them down to make a collage. And that is fun too. We've done that in class a lot. I know you remember. That's a lot of fun too. But this is a little easier with crayons because you might not have all the other stuff at home. And this is just as much fun. I can even take a color if I want to, and I can color over his scales. It's a little bit lighter color, and so the blue doesn't cover the green completely. I'm trying to not go too fast because I want it to look neat and my very best. Because I'm hoping that you display these in your house somewhere. I had some of you sent pictures of your lessons this week, and I really enjoyed them. In fact, I'll need to give you my email address if you couldn't find it this week. So you can send them to me, and I can tell you how much I like them, and I can look at them. I think that would be fun. So here I go, across his body. And I'm not going that fast, even though the video might look really fast. It is not. I'm trying to carefully stay within the lines of his body and his scales. Remember, you can turn the paper when you need to, so you can actually color a little more easily. But this is so much fun. I'll bet you've seen lizards around your house. I've been seeing them a lot lately, but guess what? My lizards hardly have any tails. Do you know why? It's because I have little cats that play with them. They don't kill them, they just sort of break off their tails. I think when the lizard escapes, his tail breaks off. That must be what it is. So my chameleon doesn't have a tail either, but I can always curl one back in from the back of the paper if I'd like. Now maybe my wings, I think my wings would look nice with some lines, some nice that create texture and movement in the wings. Oh, and one other thing, I'm thinking a nice warm color would be really delightful for my lizard's tongue. Oh, how cool is that? And I'm pretty sure that lizards like to eat, and chameleons like to eat bugs and insects, things that might bite us like mosquitoes and such. So he's He's a pretty good animal, isn't he? Yes, he's pretty good. And now I'm going to stop so you can get started on your mixed up chameleon or mixed up animal any way you would like to finish it. Don't forget, at the very end, to sign it. Always sign your artwork. Bye-bye.